Welcome back to the deep dive. We often talk about the big picture goals in spiritual practice. Things like inner peace or, mastering the mind.
Right. The end game.
Exactly. But today, we're looking at something different. Not the goal itself, but maybe the operating manual.
That's a great way to put it. We're looking at the Sammappadhana 4, the Four Noble Efforts.
And these aren't just minor points, are they? Our sources frame them as absolutely central.
Oh, completely. If you've ever encountered those core instructions, like the Vadapatamokka,
Mm,
abandon evil, do good, purify the mind.
sure, the big three.
Yeah. Well, the immediate question is, how? How do you actually do that day to day?
And that's really our mission today, isn't it? To unpack the how.
Exactly. These four efforts, they're the driving mechanism. They're the engine that makes those high-level principles actually work in practice. Without them, it's just, well, nice ideas.
Abstract theory.
Pretty much. The Buddha talked about this constantly. It's the core strategy for managing your own mind, really.
And it underpins everything else, like the Eightfold Path, the 37 Factors of Enlightenment.
It's foundational to all of them. You see these four efforts woven through all the major frameworks. Think of it as the four-step program for your inner world.
Okay, so let's get into this engine. You mentioned 4 steps. Our sources seem to group them, right? They're like dealing with the bad stuff and then building up the good.
That's a really clear way to see it. Two main functions. First, what we could call cut the bad, and second, add the good.
Okay, let's start with cut the bad. The first part of that seems to be about defense.
Effort number 1, Sangvarapatana, the effort to prevent.
Prevent. Okay, so like stopping problems before they even start.
Precisely. It's preemptive maintenance for the mind. The sources use this great analogy. It's like building a protective fence before disaster strikes.
I like that, the fence analogy. It makes it concrete. So
Mhm.
why is that so important? Is it just easier?
Well, yeah, hugely easier. The practical benefit is massive. Trying to manage defilements, kilesa, greed, anger, delusion before they've flared up, that's way more manageable than fighting them when they're already, as the texts say, raging.
Racing, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds dramatic, but probably accurate sometimes.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
So the strategy here is quite tactical. It involves using sati mindfulness as a guard
A guard. Where?
at the gates of your senses,
Yeah.
the 6 sense doors, the indriya, your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and crucially, the mind itself.
Okay, the first 5 make sense. Seeing, hearing, but guarding the mind door. That sounds a bit more abstract. How does that work in, say, normal life? Like opening an annoying email or seeing something on social media that makes you instantly jealous.
That's exactly where it applies. It's about catching that first flicker, that initial spark of irritation from the email or envy from the post before it solidifies into a full thought pattern.
So intercepting it.
Right. The moment that sensory input comes in the sight, the sound, the thought popping up the mindful guard, sati, needs to recognize, uh-oh, this could lead to greed or anger.
And the action then is?
Retreat, redirect, or just observe it without adding fuel to the fire. The key is stopping that unskillful chain reaction before it really gets going.
Yeah.
If you're still fuming about that email 30 seconds later, well, the fence failed.
Prevention's about that split-second choice then.
Exactly, that first moment.
It sounds like it requires, well, almost constant vigilance. That sounds exhausting.
It does sound like a lot of effort, but the argument is that this preventative effort is still far less than the effort needed to fight a full-blown internal battle later.
Okay, prevent 100 sparks, avoid 100 fires. Makes sense.
But, we're human. The fence isn't always going to hold. Sometimes the spark gets through. The thought takes root.
Right. So what then?
That brings us neatly to the second part of Cut the Bad, the strategy of cure.
Okay, cure. This is effort number 2.
Effort 2, Pahana, the effort to abandon.
Abandon. So this kicks in when the prevention failed. When the anger or restlessness or whatever it is, it's already here.
Exactly. The defilement has arisen. It's present in the mind.
And the goal isn't just to ignore it, I assume.
No, definitely not ignore or suppress in an unhealthy way. The key here is speed and elimination. You don't let it linger, don't let it settle in and become a habit. You need to cut it off quickly.
Spiritual firefighting, basically.
That's a good way to think of it. And like any good firefighter, you need a toolkit. The sources give us a kind of 3-part approach for putting out these internal fires quickly.
Okay, tool number 1.
Use your wisdom, your panya. Immediately reflect on the downside. What's the fault in this anger? What are the negative consequences if I let this agitation continue? You kind of reason with yourself about the cost.
Right, rational analysis. Applying critical thinking to your own emotional state.
Exactly. But let's be honest, sometimes when you're really worked up, rationality, it doesn't quite cut it, does it?
Not always, no.
So that's where tool number 2 comes in. And this one's psychologically interesting. Intentional replacement.
Replacement, how does that work?
Well, for example, if the defilement is anger, the instruction is to actively replace it by cultivating the opposite. Sammappadhana, loving kindness.
Okay, wait a second. I need to push back slightly here. Couldn't a listener hear that and think, that sounds like spiritual bypassing? You know, if I'm genuinely furious, just telling myself, be loving, feels like stuffing it down.
That's a really important question. And no, the sources aren't advocating for suppression. Think of it more like redirecting energy.
Redirecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're angry, there's a lot of energy there, right? It's powerful.
Instead of letting that energy burn destructively, you consciously choose using the wisdom from tool 1 to channel that intensity into its constructive opposite.
Ah, I see. So it's not about instantly feeling loving, but about the act of trying to cultivate it.
Precisely. It's an act of will. You're actively starving the anger of its fuel by focusing the mind elsewhere. The mind finds it hard to sustain two powerful opposing emotions at the exact same time. You leverage that.
Okay, that makes more sense. You're using the mind's own limits. Got it. And tool number 3.
Tool 3 is often the simplest, most immediate circuit breaker. Shift your focus entirely. Change your activity to something skillful or wholesome.
Like, just get up and do something else.
Basically, yes. If you're stuck stewing in agitation or worry, get up. Go do something kind for someone. Read some Dharma. Do some strenuous physical work. Even just wash the dishes mindfully. Don't let the negative state just sit there and fester. Move your energy physically or mentally towards the positive side of the ledger. It breaks the loop.
Okay, so that covers cut the bad, prevention, and then
Yep.
cure if needed.
Right. Defense and repair.
Now we pivot. The other half of the strategy. Add the good.
Playing offense now. This brings us to effort number 3, Sammappadhana, the effort to cultivate.
Cultivate. So this is like active growth, investing in yourself.
Exactly that. It's about intentionally creating new positive qualities, virtues, skills, wholesome states of mind that weren't really there before or weren't strong. Proactive development.
This is where we stop just maintaining and start actively building.
Yes. And the foundation for this, according to the sources, often involves things like acts of merit, generosity, dana, or starting and maintaining a meditation practice. You're laying down the infrastructure for future good qualities.
Building mental muscle.
Kind of, yeah. And the beauty here is that it works best with realistic steps. If you tell yourself, right, tomorrow I achieve enlightenment, you're probably setting yourself up to fail.
Too big a leap.
Right. So the sources emphasize small, achievable acts of cultivation. This is where that commitment comes in. Like, I'll meditate for just 5 minutes today, not forever, just today. Or I'll consciously practice mindfulness while I'm doing this boring task at work.
It's the consistency then, not necessarily the grand gesture.
Absolutely. It's like sowing seeds. You're creating new pathways in the mind. Maybe you decide to study a piece of Dharma you don't know yet. That's cultivation. You're planting seeds in a part of the garden that was previously untended.
And it's the intentionality that matters. Focusing on activities that build wholesome states, kusala dharma.
Yes, that's key. So when you practice generosity dana, it's not just about the money changing hands. The real cultivation is fostering that non-attachment, that joy in giving within your own mind. That's the merit you're actually developing. That's the seed.
Okay, so effort 3 is planting and growing the good stuff. What's next?
Well, once you've planted something valuable, you need to protect it, right?
Yeah.
Secure the investment.
Okay, so that leads to effort number 4.
Effort 4, Sammappadhana, the effort to preserve or maintain.
Preserve. This is the strategy of stability then.
Exactly. Maintaining consistency. And the warning here is quite stark, actually.
That's the warning.
That the good qualities you've already managed to cultivate, they're surprisingly fragile. That calm you found in meditation, the ethical clarity from observing precepts, it can all decline quite easily if you become careless. Negligent, the word is pramada.
So preservation is about fighting against that erosion,
Yeah.
preventing backsliding.
Yes. It's stopping the good stuff from fading away.
You know, that resonates. That feeling after, say, a really good weekend retreat, you feel focused, calm, and then Monday morning hits. The emails pile up, there's traffic, and poof, all that tranquility just seems to evaporate. How does effort 4 help with that sudden crash back to reality?
It helps by cultivating the discipline of repetition. It recognizes that maintaining a positive state requires its own kind of effort, different from achieving it the first time, but just as important.
So if you reached a certain level of concentration, samadhi, in your practice,
Effort 4 has. Don't coast. Maintain the time, maintain the discipline. Don't think, oh, I had a great session yesterday, I can skip today. Keep reinforcing it.
it's about endurance, not just the initial sprint.
Perfectly put. Endurance and consistency. And the sources take it further, even applying it to the aftermath of good deeds.
Like the generosity example.
Exactly. If you perform an act of dana, effort 4 involves actively maintaining a clear, positive state of mind after the act. Don't let the merit, the positive energy of giving, just dissipate, because 5 minutes later you got irritated about something trivial or started regretting the donation.
Wow, that's subtle. It's preserving the psychological benefit of the action, not just remembering the action itself.
It's protecting the positive residue. If you spent the morning working on non-anger, effort 4 means you actively guard against annoyance later that day. You extend the lifespan of that cultivated quality. That's how momentary states start to become stable traits.
Okay, this really ties it all together. Looking at the Sammappadhana 4 as a whole system, it feels very balanced.
It is. It's a complete 4-part action plan.
2 parts focused on cut the bad. Prevention, Sammappadhana, and abandonment or cure, Sammappadhana.
Right. And 2 parts focused on add the good. Cultivation, Bhavanapatthana, and then preservation, Anarakanapatthana.
It's like a continuous loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're always either defending, repairing, building, or reinforcing.
It's dynamic. The mind is always actively engaged in constructive work, not just passively reacting.
So the big takeaway for you, the listener, seems to be this. The sources suggest that if you consistently apply these 4 efforts in your daily life, you're not just being a good person in a vague way.
No, you're actively, authentically walking the Eightfold Path. You're engaging in the continuous process of purifying the mind.
You're living without that negligence, pramada, that causes things to slide. You're actually doing what the Buddha taught.
It's the roadmap in action. You're taking the steps, not just looking at the map. Every single day gives you countless chances to practice one of these 4.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe we can leave you with a final thought to chew on. It connects that last effort, preservation, back to the first one, prevention. Effort 4 warns us that good qualities decline through carelessness. Effort 1 is about preventing harmful things from arising. So maybe we need to think about what specifically threatens our hard-won stability today.
That's a great point, because the modern world throws some unique challenges at us, doesn't it? Constant distraction, notifications, algorithms designed to grab our attention.
All things that directly erode focus and consistency.
They absolutely do. They are prime contaminants for the mind, you could say.
So here's the question for you. If consistency, effort 4, is crucial for preserving the good, what specific modern contaminant, maybe digital distraction, maybe procrastination fueled by overwhelm, can you consciously prevent effort 1 from entering your mind door today?
What fence can you build right now?
Right. And what simple, consistent act of preservation can you commit to, not just for its own sake, but as a way to actively fight back against that constant modern pressure that erodes our focus and our progress?
That ongoing commitment, that conscious effort across all 4 areas, that is the practice. Hold on to that thought as you go about your day.
We'll talk to you next time on The Deep Dive.